Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Deepak and I are in the gym at the moment. He's working out inside. I am not, because I've just not been doing so well lately, and yeah, I've also been breaking out because of the stress. So last Monday, Deepak and I decided to take Oliver out to just socialize with other dogs, because he's a very playful dog and he loves playing with other dogs, and he's always excited around people, and he's always a very happy dog. So we decided to take him to my house first, because Deepak's dog, who's a golden retriever, he doesn't really like Oliver, because when Oliver was a pup, he actually snapped on his nose, and from then Joey's not very fond of Oliver. So I thought, okay, let me try and get him close to Shakur, my Rottweiler, because I thought, in case if we ever went out somewhere, it would be easier for me to leave Oliver to my house with my brothers and my dog. Now, for those of you who don't know who Oliver is our dog, that is Deepak and my dog. He's a German Shepherd, and we got him 7 months back. And he's been living with us, technically not with us, but with Deepak in our house that we set up to live together after marriage. So we took him, and my dog also was not very fond of him. And right opposite our house we have 2 huskies who are very playful and friendly usually, but again Oliver was rejected by them also, and it didn't work out. So we were like, okay fine, it's not working out, we bring him back. And we got him back, and after that he was just not himself. And I kept thinking in my mind that, okay, he must be feeling rejected, or is he depressed and all of that. And I was trying to convince him that, that mommy will play with you, you don't need other doggos, and I will be there with you and stuff like that. And then we realized that he had fever. So we took him to the vet, and he was dull. But then what happened is, I will try and add pictures wherever I can, his eyes turned red, like bloodshot red, and we didn't understand what it was. Usually dogs get something called cherry eyes. I think it wasn't that, it was something that had to do with him internally. So we took him to the doctor, and the doctor said, oh, this is normal, it's fine, it's because he has fever, and he had 103 temperature. And we were like, okay, he must have fever, and that's why his eye is red. We didn't really have an explanation. And to the person we went, he is Joey's doctor, as well as has been treating Oliver from when he was a little pup. So we didn't think of it anything. He wasn't eating well, sometimes he would feel fine, sometimes he wasn't fine, and we didn't think much of it, because this has happened to him before. Like, from the time we got him, he would keep falling sick. Like, we didn't understand what it was. We knew that there was some underlying issue, but none of the doctors were able to really tell us what it was. When we got him as a pup, he had some skin infection that wasn't going. We took him to so many doctors, we tried so many medicine. When that came down, the doctor had told us that he has a problem with his hip joint, and it looks like it's going to dislocate. So we were getting him treated for that, and then he started having fevers, and he was anemic, and this kept happening. So we thought, okay, this is also just like that, and he's going to be fine in some time. So every time we took him to the doctor, that was from Monday, the doctor would give him 2 injections, 1 antibiotic and something else, and he would be fine once we got him home. And this kept happening until Wednesday, I think. I think Friday. Yeah, Friday, his redness had come down, But so Deepak usually stays there, he sleeps there. I don't. I am in my house. We just hang out there with friends and all of that. And if I have to film any video, whenever you see a gray background or any fancy background, that is our house there. So exactly around 10:30, when we were locking and Deepak was going to come and drop me to come back to Oliver, I realized that he wasn't moving much. He wasn't getting up from his spot much, and that really scared me. And then we decided to rush him to the hospital, and I think this was on, I'm not sure if it was Friday or Saturday. I'm really sorry, like I'm all over the place. But yeah, we realized that none of the vets were open. Like Oliver's vet also was not open. There was one government hospital on Queen's Road that was open, so we rushed him there. And they had like so many street dogs and all of that, and we were scared to take Oliver out because we were scared they would these dogs would attack him. But then finally 2 doctors came and we took him inside, and he said he had really high temperature. And he said, so that evening we had taken Oliver to his vet who's been treating him, and again that guy gave him like 2 injections, and he seemed fine. But then at night he was very weak and he wasn't able to move, so we rushed him to the government hospital again. And he said, I can't give him any injection now because I don't know what injection his previous vet has given, but I will give something to bring his temperature down. So we gave him his injection, we got him back, he seemed fine. Usually Oliver, he feels really hot. He loves sleeping on cold surface. He has the habit of pouring water on the ground and sleeping there. But I'm sorry for the ambulance. Yeah, so but then that night he just wanted to sleep on the rug and all of that, and the next day he seemed fine. And Saturday he was fine. Sunday also he was a little low, but we thought it's because of fever. Like usually he gets this fever and this is how he is, but he'll be fine in 2 days. So Sunday he was a little low, and for some reason out of nowhere I wanted to play the movie Lion King, and he was sitting and watching it and all of that. And he still wasn't eating much, but he was able to eat a little. Like he didn't completely stop eating, he was still eating a little. And so Sunday went like that, and he was so then Sunday evening he got sick again. He wasn't moving much, he wasn't and I don't know why the vet did not ask us to do a blood test. The vet just kept telling us that it's just fever, he'll be fine. So evening we took him to his vet again on Sunday, and the vet said, oh, you know what, this has been happening a lot, so let's give him IV. So we gave him drips, especially for his hemoglobin and all of that. And they gave him so many injections and all of that back to back. And for anyone who knows Oliver is very aggressive and he's a guard dog, but with me and Deepak he's very, very sweet. Like he'll let us do anything. So the poor kid was just lying there letting us hold him down to get his drips. They gave him about 7 injections, I don't know for what, but when we got him home he seemed fine. The only thing doctor said was don't give him rice or don't give him water, he might throw up because of one particular injection antibiotic that they gave him. So I gave him a big bowl of soup and just chicken, and he seemed fine. Like he finished the entire chicken soup. I think I need a break. Okay, so correction, all that happened on Saturday. And then on Sunday morning, as soon as Deepak woke up, he called me up to wake me up for church. And so I have this habit, because Oliver is very playful and very naughty. Every time we would leave him out in our lawn or the garden area and stuff like that, we always would want to keep an eye on him. So there was a camera fixed out through which we can talk and we can see what he's doing. So if he's up to something, we can talk and stop him immediately. If we are out somewhere So I had this habit to always check on the camera first to see how Oliver's doing and all of that. And that particular morning, that is Sunday morning, he was actually sleeping in his cage, in his crate, and he looked quite normal that time when I checked. But then Deepak called me on video call and said that he's breathing very heavily. I really can't. Do you want to give update?
So Oliver started to breathe very heavily, and he was gasping for breath. It wasn't a normal thing, and we always thought it would be just the fever that he had, like he did before, because he was constantly falling sick. But then I asked her to come over with her brother. We rushed him to the hospital. The unfortunate thing is, veterinary hospitals, at least around our area, are all closed till 10:30 in the morning. And this was around 8:39 in the morning, and we were trying to find a place where we could take him for immediate assistance. So we went to multiple places around. They didn't have anything, so finally we rushed him to the government veterinary hospital in Queens Road. And there, I don't know what the doctor was thinking, but he kept explaining to us how bad the situation is, and kept emphasizing that over and over again without saying what we should do to save him, or what we can do to, you know, give him relief from the pain that he was in. So we kind of lost our cool, and then we asked him to guide us in the direction that we have to go, so that we could save Oliver. And he said that Oliver needed blood transplant, or no, what is it called? Transfusion. Yeah, blood transfusion. And there was no hospital that had that facility. Cancure didn't have it. The government hospitals didn't have it. So we rushed him to Cessna in Bangalore, and they had all the facilities. They did the tests needed, and after the blood reports came, they said that his platelets were at 0, his hemoglobin was 3.2, and all his blood levels were below normal. And they said he needs urgent attention, and he needs blood from any other dog that can donate. And they had a few criteria for it. We tried everything we could do. We spoke to people around there who had brought their vets for a checkup or for whatever reason. And one gentleman offered to help, but then his dog had a procedure that happened 3 days ago, and then the doctor suggested him not to donate blood because it was too soon. We tried, of course, if those who have seen the post on Instagram will know that we tried asking people around. Some donors did come forward, but they were too far away. So after trying, yeah, we didn't have time. So I rushed back towards our side of town, got one of my cousin's pets, and on the way back, Miriam was called, and they said that he's critical, and they put him on a ventilator. 5 minutes later, Miriam calls me again saying that he's no more. We were devastated. It was very difficult for us because everything we saw in the way Oliver went was very similar to what my mother experienced, with the weakness, and then the shortness of breath, and then gasping for breath.
The gaze, like he was...
Yeah, he was just gazing into her eyes, and then being put on the ventilator, and all of these things just kind of made it so difficult for us to take. And it was all the more difficult because we had just experienced these things, and rushing to the hospital, I was driving like a maniac on the road, and we lost him. We don't feel happy going back to that house. We feel emptiness, we feel a void. And Miriam often sees through the CCTV camera just to see that empty space and him not being there. We're not over it. Pet lovers will know what it means. And we're very sad that he is no more with us. He was a very happy, troublesome dog, famous to be a nuisance in our area. All the neighbors kept complaining about his barking or his attitude towards things. He just wanted to destroy everything that was in his way. We have clips of him being a pup, and we wanted him to be safe, and so we had a pen around him or a crate, and he would always find a way to get out. So knowing the kind of personality he had, we never thought this would happen. So all was no more.
Yeah, so that happened. I mean, I always knew losing your fur baby would be very difficult, but I didn't know it would be so difficult. I don't know, Ma, can you check inside? It's 12:59.
2 o'clock, those people are coming at 3 o'clock.
Okay, so I mean, you always know that it's difficult, but I didn't think for a second it would be so difficult, because I've lost sleep, I've lost appetite. I keep checking on the CCTV to see if I'd find him. I'm still in denial. I'm not able to accept the fact that he's gone. We used to love going to our house because it was a very nice cozy space and he's there, and we would love playing with him. But now it just feels so empty, and yeah, it just feels so empty. And wherever he was sitting, wherever he would stand, the way he would look when we entered the house, everything just reminds me of him, and I'm finding it so difficult to cope with this. On some days I feel like, okay, I'm fine, and then it'll suddenly hit, because he was just too young. He was just 7 months old to have experienced all of this, and it's just the way he left. Because even when Deepak and my brother was in front, I had him on my lap, and just to see him struggle to breathe was so heartbreaking, especially because you know you want to do everything to relieve that pain, but you're just so helpless and you don't know what to do. And that's exactly how I felt that day, how we felt that day. He just was so anemic that oxygen was not reaching his brain and he was unable to breathe. And even when Deepak had gone to to go and get the donor, every time they called us, you know, they would say, Oliver's parents, please come to the second floor. The first time when I went, they said I can go and see him in the ICU, and there they had put all these pipes and he was just not able to breathe. And then by the time we could come down from the second floor, they called us back to let us know that he was gone, and it just broke my heart. I just wanted to disconnect that time from reality, and I started crying, and they said, you know, we have to finish the procedure, we have to wrap him up. And I requested them, and I told them, you know, Deepak hasn't come, like he has to see him once. And the doctors there were so understanding, and she said, okay, you know what, we'll shift him to an OPD, you can have as much time as you want with him, and then let us know, we'll wrap him up. So even when they brought Oliver inside the OPD, I did not go near him for the next 5 minutes because I was in denial. I couldn't accept it. And then Deepak came, and Deepak busted out crying, and I was crying, and everyone around us was crying, because he was such a happy pup that we thought he'd pull through, but it did not happen. And Deepak wanted to bury him somewhere else where you can bury your pets and then plant a tree, but then I wanted him close to us, and that's why we buried him in our garden. So he's right there. But yeah, the house feels really empty. I feel so lost sometimes, and it's been a little difficult for us. This is the first time we are experiencing something like this. I haven't experienced anything like that, and I wish no one does. But yeah, that's the update. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.